what's driving you to question? What's driving you to call people out?
It's my job to make it entertaining, because if there's no entertainment, nobody's going to watch it and nobody's going to get the message, which I believe is important.
So, Rokas, you're here. Thank you so much for joining the Crowd Unity podcast. Welcome to the podcast. And for those of you who don't know who you are, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us where to find you.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's always good to meet like-minded people. I always appreciate honest people as well. So, but yeah, about my work. So I guess right now I'm a YouTuber. I'm into martial arts. I used to be a professional Aikido instructor, had my own dojo, used to be a living student, but then eventually realized, kind of became disillusioned with it. I realized it's not exactly what it was told. It was not exactly what it was told to me that it's what it's about. Like, especially about the self-defense element and being able to handle yourself in a fight. And long story short, I pressure tested my practice. I realized it's not that great. Again, it's not what I was promised. And I started questioning Aikido online on my YouTube channel. Eventually, I quit Aikido, closed my dojo, flew into MMA, did my MMA fight, and ever since then, I'm kind of known for questioning martial arts, all sorts of martial arts, including combat sports, and especially traditional martial arts. And my channel is called Martial Arts Journey, and it's on YouTube.
What's driving you to question? What's driving you to call people out? What's driving you to this critical thinking? Like why? You know?
It's a good question, and there's no single answer. There's kind of multiple answers, and I'll cover a few of them. So, first answer, and probably the main one, and what started me on this journey, and still maybe doesn't keep me going as much as it used to be, but it's still a major force. So I felt betrayed by my organization. I felt betrayed by my instructor. I felt tricked. And I think there's a sense of...
Like, why? Why did you feel that way?
Well, first of all, because I was led to believe that I'm learning something which is not what it is.
Okay, so misrepresentation.
Right.
Okay.
I was taught to believe that I'm capable of defending myself and others was true. That that this is all honest and good, and some of it wasn't. But basically, just kind of being misled on investing into something which you're realizing, okay, this is not really what I was looking for. I learned it in Aikido, and it was great. But initially, I went there to learn self-defense, and I never learned self-defense in like 15 years. And but I kept being told that I am learning, and I was in multiple situations. It was really dangerous, and my false confidence, luckily, didn't kill me, but it could have. And so I think part of me wants to undo the wrong which was done upon me. There's this kind of psychological aspect of, one is like taking care of others. It's like I don't want the same crap to happen to others, and kind of on a mission of being, okay, look, I'll protect the Rokases, the young version of Rokases, which are out there, and we'll try to prevent them from experiencing what I experienced. And I think that's a common thing. I think also there's the psychological aspect of where you're trying to undo the wrong which was done upon you, which means there's kind of a psychological feeling of, okay, if I will fix this for others, somehow it will fix it for myself as well, which is not really true, but I think that's how the brain works, and that's why you get, like, let's say, it's an extreme example, but I think it's true. Let's say some woman gets raped, and she goes out to, create an organization to prevent rape, or somebody gets beaten up, and they try to prevent violence. It's like somebody came from poverty, they try to fix poverty. I think that's
You see lots of examples of that. Yeah.
Right. You kind of, again, try to undo the injustice which was done upon you. So I think that's a big driving force.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
The second one is kind of being at the right place at the right time and appreciating that. And for a moment, I didn't appreciate it, like last year, but I learned to reappreciate it. There's a quick story to explain this. So there's a book where a guy some decades ago was searching for answers about the anatomy of yoga, the scientific side of yoga, and he couldn't find any book. And his instructor then told him, if there's something you're looking for and it's not out there, that means it's your mission to do it. And this is kind of a semi-mystical or nice way of putting it, but in the other way to say it, I'm the more I do this is basically my full-time work, questioning martial arts, and I have a unique experience of being on both sides of the fence. I talk to some of the top experts in the world, and I gather knowledge to solutions which some people are looking for. So in a way, it makes sense for me to offer something that I'm good at. It's like if you're really good at playing a violin, why not go out there and play it for others? Kind of serve the purpose you can best serve. There's probably nothing else at this moment of my life that I could do better. So why should I stop? So that's the second.
Yeah.
I would also add to that also, and I think that's actually a reference to something you said, but I didn't have a chance to cover it. You asked me about when there's too much questioning, and you mentioned as well like the YouTube aspect, and I didn't cover that. The answer is I've been doing this thing for like the last 5 years or so actively, and I get to see the same misunderstandings again and again and again. And there's still millions of people who haven't even seen a single video that I put out. You get into this
quick to judge, right? Yeah.
Right. And you get into this illusion that, okay, my videos were watched millions of times. Not naturally, like everyone saw it. No, I get like comments all the time. It's like, oh, I discovered your channel just now, and it's so great. Or they hate it, but they discovered it just now. So meaning there's so many people I still haven't reached, and some people need to hear the same thing 10 times until they make their minds. Some people need to hear 10 different angles of the same thing. It's like it's an endless journey. Probably never enough people will see enough of it. So again, that keeps me going, and I could continue, but I'll put a last point. It's also my job,
Okay, so this is like you this is your main job, being in social media like this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I do make sure that there's that question of clickbait. I can put on record that I obviously create, and I got into this discussion today, and so today's live stream, as we're recording, will be called "So Does Aikido Work or Not?" Remy versus Rokas.
Okay.
And somebody in the comments under the announcement said, "Oh, you just had to make this name of versus, kind of like this is so ugly and blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And there was a discussion. Someone was defending me, and I think that person was giving some good points. But eventually, and the other person was trying to bash me, and I came in and I said, and the guy said, who was criticizing, he said, "You should have just called the talk Rokas Talks to Remy." And I wrote to him, "Oh yeah, maybe you should call the movie Terminator a movie about a robot, and you should call a book, somewhat like a book about psychology, a book about whatever." It's like, no, like people don't work that way. People need something to intrigue them, and YouTube is a mix of education and entertainment.
Yes.
And it's my job to make it entertaining, because if there's no entertainment, nobody's going to watch it, and nobody's going to get the message, which I believe is important. So I can't just. I don't like putting out those titles and those thumbnails. It's not a thing I enjoy doing, but it's part of my job. And if I won't do it, I won't reach the people, and I won't make a difference.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, this type of exercise is nothing new. I mean, I know a lot of friends who are authors, for instance, and I teach literature as well. And, I get my kids to write and stuff. And I say, listen, you guys need to develop a catchy title.
Yeah.
Your introduction has to capture the reader's interest. And this takes time, right? You can't just say, I'm going to talk about fish today. Okay. No, like you got to start off by saying something like, you're in the lake, you see this ripple in the water. The mouth opens up. A hook slashes on his mouth, redness all over the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. You open like that, right? And then the kids are going, "Oh my God, Mr. Hansen, that's amazing, right?" And I said, "That's where I want you guys to be." And that's YouTube right there, right? It's innocent, it's honest. But here's the thing. I see people. I'm not saying you're doing this, but I'm seeing people young people who've got a lot of time in their hands, or who are doing this for monetary reasons, they engage in this clickbaity, controversial type of activity. And to me, it's great, build your channel, but at what cost? You see all these people clicking, but they're really not getting a deep understanding of what this guy of the topic. It's just entertainment, right? And that's okay too, right? But I don't know, man. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I'll ever be there yet. It's hard. Like, to me, like, the approach is it's I'm learning about thumbnails. I'm learning about titles and all this stuff. I'm learning about the algorithm and all this kind of stuff, right? But I don't know. I guess I don't have it in me to stir things up too much, because I would feel guilty. Yeah, that's just me.
I'll say a couple of things here. So first of all, it's debatable what clickbait is, but usually clickbait has a negative connotation too. And the reason for it, like, you can imagine bait. The bait is for what? To get fish, get on a hook.
Yeah, bring them. Yeah.
And some YouTubers make the same point, which I'm about to make, is clickbait is essentially when somebody forces you to click and you regret clicking it. The thing is, if you click on it and you enjoy it, it's questionable whether that's really a clickbait. It's just a click title. It's a clickable thumbnail. And I'll give an example. One of my recently posted most successful videos about my MMA fight, like a story. It was like, a lot of people found it super inspiring. They loved it. They enjoyed it very much. It has like close to 300,000 views, I guess, right now, which is, I've done better, but it's still a good number. But the thing is, when I released it initially, I had a much more toned down name and a more simple thumbnail. It was the exact same video. Very few people clicked it. I changed the thumbnail. I changed the title. Same exact video. People loved it. Suddenly the views went through the roof. And so the thing is, if I wouldn't have made a more clickable title, clickable thumbnail, the majority of people who enjoyed and appreciated and got value from that video would never saw it. So for me, when I believe in the work I do, that's why I justify making quote unquote clickbaits or clickable titles and clickable thumbnails, because I believe it's worth it. I believe I'm not tricking people. I'm forced to play this game, and when I do it, the way I go for it, it's like, okay, so this is the subject. What's the title and thumbnail, which whoever is going to be interested to watch this video, whenever they see that title and thumbnail, they will for sure click it. They will see it and be like, oh my God, I have to see this. But it's not going to be everyone. It's not going to be like, oh, what's the title and thumbnail which every possible person will click? I'm not doing that. I'm only asking myself, how do I make sure that the person who's going to benefit from this video will really be interested to click it? Like, how do I speak his language? It's like my talk with Ian Abernethy. I used a quote which I used in Thailand. It was a successful video. He said, in our talk, he said, martial arts instructors are the worst self-defense teachers. And it's such a great phrase, and it speaks to the people who are, it's like, speaks to your curiosity. It's like, oh, I wonder why. It's clickable. But it's like, or I could have said, Rokas talks to Ian Abernethy. It's
I know. Are
you going to watch that? Well, unless you love Ian Abernethy, but the majority of people won't get the message unless it's a good, catchy title. It's a buffet, and they're going to the video, and there's a lot of people who are really working hard to create catchy titles, catchy thumbnails.
They are, man. Yeah.
You're competing with all of them, and unless you're going to hit the exact spot that person that you want that video to watch for, that it's designed for, unless you'll talk his language and design it in a way where that person sees it. And that's the question I ask before I release my video. It's like, again, like what my viewer will definitely be tempted to click on. It's like, and I know my audience, and that helps because I know what they're looking for. It's like, I know my audience will love to see this video, and I know they ask this question all the time. So I have to make sure that they will realize that this video is about that question that they're looking for. And and they're gonna click it. Like, people love to see me being wrong, and that's not the main reason, but one of the reasons why the video I was wrong about Bing Chen did well. And I was wrong about Bing Chen, and I said it on the video, and but I knew that that's the language which my viewers will be interested to speak about. So you have to think about that. It's very hard to make do without that.
I like that video actually, the Wing Chun one. Yeah, it was good. I like those when you're looking and seeing if does this work or whatever. It's good stuff, man. The thing is, I've I personally don't feel the need to ask those questions anymore because I know all that stuff works. Because I've met so many people that's proven it to me. So I don't need to, like, to me, like, just personally, I don't think that's something I need to capitalize on my videos. But I kind of am doing that for karate though. Karate falls into this whole dead pattern syndrome, right? Let's make it come alive, and let's unite. Let's mix with different martial artists and enjoy everybody's food, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to one path, right? We're a martial artist, so I think we can become better martial and artists if you play with other martial and artists. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's my thing on karate unity, right? Like I don't really question too much, but I more my thing is let's see what everybody has to offer, and if this is what they're offering, let's taste it. It's our responsibility to see those claims for ourselves, right? And if these guys can't prove it to me, then I'm gonna try to make it work for me. And I put the onus on all of us. So, like, that's my thing too. Like, you talked about, this whole martial journey of yours is very personal, right? It started to be, because of, you felt you were wronged. You felt that, your teacher was saying one thing and giving you something else. You weren't getting the self-defense solutions that you're looking for, even though your teacher was saying, this is for self-defense. But here's my thing, right? Now, when a school or an organization says one thing and they're kind of contradictory, there's two ways to this. They're either being fraudulent, okay, for self-gain, right? Or it's possible that there's an ignorance card here. They're doing the best they know given what they know, right? They don't know any better,
Sure.
And some of these businesses are family people. They're like, look, in this town that I live in, there's a dime a dozen taekwondo schools. There's a dime, there's a handful of karate schools in here, and I know the owners. They're honestly developing themselves, right? But I mean, it is what it is, right? But I'm not gonna say, hey, you could be doing this. You could be, you call yourself a karate school. How come you're not showcasing true bunkai? How come you're not mixing things up? Where's your striking and grappling game? What's going on here? How come you're just focusing on forms and this and that? I could be picking them out and, having all kinds of clickbaity videos and calling these people out and stuff, but I would be targeting these honest people who are just doing what they know. Because I've spoken to these owners. Like, these guys are nice guys, man. Like, if I introduce you to them, you'd want to sit down and eat with these guys. These guys are really nice people. But I mean, I don't see any gain from that. I just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, sure. I coming from, and I'll tell you this. When people have this image of me, that they imagine that if I would sit down with like an Aikido master at the same table, that I would start telling him like, oh man, you're doing this so wrong. Let me explain it to you. Let me do that. This stuff doesn't work. The truth is, I've been in those situations. I'm actually very polite, and and I let them talk about their stuff, and I don't challenge them at all, because, and especially if they're challenging me and they're not saying, oh, Rokas, this is bullshit what you're saying, then I'd be like, okay, let's compare our notes. But usually, I don't even say anything, about my background or what I do. Let's say it doesn't necessarily, like, let's say just like a person that does Aikido. I was in a situation like that, and he's saying like how he much loves Aikido. I was like, yeah, it's all great. And he asked me like, yeah, do you think it really works? I'm like, well, I have some doubts about it. I personally don't think it's a great self-defense system, but so maybe you should check out some stuff online. But if you love it, just do it for that reason. That's the conversation I have. Online, I serve a different purpose. Online, my job is basically to do that. My mission is to do that. and I'm primarily focusing when I imagine who am I addressing, like in the video, Prove to Me Your Martial Art Works. That video wasn't designed for the honest folk who are nice and polite and they honestly teach what they're teaching. That video is designed for the haters who are trying to prove me wrong, and they're writing me comments. Right. Oh, you don't know, my style actually works great. And that was my response to them. I was like, okay, prove, if you're so vocal about your martial art working, prove it to me. But again, as you said, people make quick assessments, quick judgments, and it is what it is. But at the same time, that video generated debates and discussions, which probably made people think and probably made people come to good conclusions. But again, my job isn't, I don't see my purpose as to shut down all Aikido schools and destroy the Aikido world. I just ask questions, and that's what I do, and that's kind of what I focus on. The goal is not to win some holy war or something.
I'm so glad we got a chance to talk. I've been, I guess you could say, blessed, fortunate enough to have people open their time to me. It's cool because I've got upstairs in my library, I've got all these books, right, from pretty reputable authors like Chris Wilder and Lauren Christensen, Ian Abernathy, and all these guys that before I never even thought about reaching out to them and talking to them. But now I have these books, and now I've mustered up some courage to reach out and say, hey man, you want to chat? And it's so cool. I was talking to my wife the other day. I said, you know what? I'm getting a chance to meet so many amazing people, and just connecting the dots, seeing I formulate an impression of them, on a technical level and on an emotional level too, just from text alone. But that's not the whole picture. You got to go and see them, talk to them, like we're doing right now, and see, where was their mind, when they were making these things, when they were authoring these things, right? And so, when we're talking now, it's really cool because I'm connecting the dots. What you're telling me versus what I see of you is really cool. I get to see the puzzle, the puzzle pieces, right? So yeah.
There's this interesting thing, and again, we can't expect it from everyone, but I do think about that sometimes when I get some comments. And let's say, so there's a floating theory. There's a number of floating theories about me. But one of them is, that I'm doing this just for money. I'm just making videos which make money, and there's nothing else behind it. And some people go on my channel and they write, oh, it's like Rokas is doing this just for money. I'm like, the real honest way to put that sentence would be, I have the impression that Rokas is doing this in order to make money, and I can respect that. People can think what they think. It's funny that put things as facts. It's like, oh, Rokas is wrong, or Rokas does this, whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, again, that's the missing element from the internet, from YouTube. It's a one-way conversation.
Right. Yeah. There's no context to it. Yeah.
It's like, because if somebody would come and say, you're doing this just for money, I would say, well, what makes you think that? Tell me more. And it's like, try to prove it to me. And I would say, well, actually, no, did you consider this and that? We'd have a discussion, and then we'd get a fuller picture. But now online, it's just like, I put out a video where I say 5 things out of 100 things I'm thinking, because it's a video, you can't put everything. Somebody misunderstands something. Somebody gets only a small piece of the puzzle. Somebody mishears something, misinterprets something, and suddenly have all these ideas. So this guy, I agree. It's great to meet people and have the ability to really discuss them.
Yeah, I mean, time is everything. You can't just first impressions are important, but maturity will tell you. And I'm assuming I'm older than you. How old are you, by the way?
You are, from what you said, we have an age difference. I'm close to 32.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm 52. Yeah. So we've got 20. I've got 20 years on you, but that means some things to some people. I know some people who are younger than me who are way more mature than me. It really, age really doesn't really mean anything. It's what you do with it and how you living your life, right? Like I would say you've got insight that I don't have, and that's because your focus is different, right? Like your focus right now is to be hyper vigilant in your content, to always to look at things at so many angles, and to just diligently put stuff out there, right? Like Mine is not really a job. It's a side gig. I'm enjoying it. I'm just loving, this chat. I'm loving just reaching out to people and just, it feels nice to get views. It feels nice to it feels nice. I'm going to admit, I love seeing myself on camera. I listen over to my conversations when I give my podcast, but, I'm looking at it not just from a vanity point of view. I'm looking at it, did I come across okay? Did I mention that point okay? I'm looking at it from a self-critical lens, right? And you wouldn't know that unless you get to know me, right? So like, I mean, people can say what they want, and like I empathized with you, and I felt, that one video where, you did some dance, and you were, I found that very entertaining, but I also felt bad. I felt bad that people would say these things about you, right?
Yeah.
Because I was bullied as a kid. I know what that feels like, right? Yeah.
Again, speaking of the dancey thing, I can't blame people, having negative opinions about it. The reason though I was criticized because that video was put out on my channel back in my keto days because it was part of my curriculum. But then when I started to question Aikido, a lot of people they took it out of context, used it as quote unquote proof that, oh look, actually Rokas' Aikido is really bad because he's doing this. It's like, and that's what I said in that video. It's like you're cherry picking. You're looking at a very specific part of the practice that I used to do.
Yeah.
That has encompassed everything I did, and I was upset that people are using
context,
that
man.
specific element, for kind of dash me to pieces. So I removed it, but then floated around again. But it is what it is. It's again, it comes with the territory. It's part of the job. I'm putting myself out there. I'm questioning people's beliefs, which is challenging for people. So I cannot expect to get away out of it without, getting dirty and getting hit with it in my face. But again, it's part of the job. I have to. If we do this, we have to accept that it's going to be like that.
No, it's good. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm enjoying it. It was a blast talking to you. Thank you for your time. Just some closing thoughts. What's your mission? What's your goal? Say, where do you see Martial Journey taking its path in the next couple of years? Like where do you want to take it?
My biggest hope is because I am passionate about making the life of other people better, the lives of other people better. And I have this deeper thought that I'm hoping that through presenting critical thinking in martial arts, and the kind of the questioning mindset, the Socrates method, so that would transcend martial arts for people. That's my realm. It's martial arts, but I'm hoping that people seeing the example of questioning, that will inspire them to question not only their martial arts path, but that will inspire them to question, their job, the things they do,
life,
their lives. Are they taking the right decisions? Are they having the right approach to their work and to how they act around other people? That's the deeper thought behind it, and so I hope that influence will happen and it will spread. I'm in a more technical way. I'm expecting and hoping to again start to do more traveling. Meet some other YouTubers, fighters, get people to know them.
Living the dream.
Yes, good life. I can't complain. I mean, I have my problems, but
we all do, brother.
But it's just about living my own life, enjoying my own life, but also
get it in now before you have kids, man. Do it all now before you have kids. I'm telling you, it's gonna change things.
So more or less, just live my life and try to do good that will have value to others.
Yeah, and you are, man. You're reaching out. That's good for you, man. I'm really glad we talked, man. Another one in the belt for the martial arts community. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, and it was good talk. Some good subjects we covered. So thank you, and keep on doing your job.
Awesome, brother. All right. Peace. Have a good one.
Take care.